Hey Savvy Social Workers, this is going to be an updated video on how to schedule a session via my website. I'm just going to walk you through and explain how my scheduling works. Okay, so first off, you can schedule a session, whether that be an individual, group session, or a consultation, anything like that from the website www.savvysocialworkerexamprep.com. There's a tab there that says schedule a session. Once you click on that tab, it will bring you to the scheduling site. You will then have to select the calendar for the type of session that you want to schedule. Now, upon getting to the website, you will be greeted by this disclaimer that the individual sessions are available to those who are testing within the next 2 months. That's if you haven't tested before. So if you previously tested and did not pass and you're preparing to take the exam again, this 2-month rule does not apply to you. You can still book. You do not have to first book a consultation. That is totally up to you if you feel like you want to discuss some things before booking or signing up for any services that I have. Keep in mind that upon registration, you will be required to show proof of your upcoming or your previous exam. So you're going to have to provide proof that you recently tested or whenever you tested and did not pass, or that your exam is coming up within the next 2 months if you have never tested. Okay. So the biggest thing is that my schedule only allows for people to book for the next 15 days, for up to 15 days. So it is common that once you go to the website and you look on the specific calendars, it can very well look like I am totally booked up for the entire month, which will never ever be the case. However, the extent of that means that I am probably booked up for that session type for the next 2 weeks because I allow people to only book up to 15 days. Okay. So my usual days for doing sessions are Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. So I am going to go into more detail in this video explaining to you how to book and how to look at the schedule, especially when it appears that I do not have any availability. But the first thing you have to understand is that it's only going to show you for the next 15 days. So today is the 3rd. That means right now my schedule will only be showing availability through the 18th, if I'm not mistaken, which is 15 days from now. So that means whatever I have booked or available through the 18th will be the only thing that is showing. There will be nothing booked past the 18th as of today because that date of availability has not become available yet. Okay. So now on the website, it's going to give you these disclaimers. You must book an initial session first. That is in reference to before booking a supplemental session. If you book a supplemental session and you have not yet had an initial session with me, that session will be canceled and you will have to be pushed back or find another available spot for an actual initial session. I don't normally do initial sessions and supplemental sessions on the same days, so be sure that you are selecting the correct session so that you won't be canceled or pushed back. All right, so also I would suggest reading the information that's also within this calendar to be better familiar with the services that I offer. When it comes to group sessions, you do not have to have a consultation. You do not have to have had an initial session. You do not have to be testing within 2 months. Group sessions are free range. You can book a group session at any time. You can book it as often as you want. There's really just free range for joining a group. There's also other good information in regards to my program here. So like I said, please read through that. Now getting to booking the appointments. So once you get to the page, you are going to see the different types of appointments that I offer. A consultation, an initial session, a supplemental session, or a group coaching session. You are going to click on the one that you are interested in booking. So for educational and illustration purposes, I am going to go through booking an initial session. So once you get to the page, you're going to click book on the initial session. Okay, so you're going to scroll to the calendar. The calendar is going to show you what's available. So like I said, you are only going to see up through 15 days. So what this is saying, as of today, which is October the 3rd, the availability that I have for the next 15 days for initial sessions are on October the 9th and October the 16th. So on October the 9th, the only sessions that I have left for initial sessions will be 12:30 and 2:30. On the 16th, I have 3 sessions left. So you can choose according to that. Now, I am going to take you back just a second to show you the difference if you were looking to book a supplemental session. As you can see, there is nothing available for the next 15 days. So that means that people have already booked the supplemental sessions that I've had available for the next 15 days. Okay, so just to kind of help you out a little bit more to understand this, I'm normally doing on Mondays, I'll do a session of each type. So that's the day I normally do my consultations. So I'll throw in one supplemental session and one initial session. So if you're checking on a Sunday, chances are you will see that availability for one of the upcoming Mondays for an initial or a supplemental. But primarily, I do supplemental sessions on Tuesdays and initial sessions on Wednesdays. So when you're looking at the supplemental calendar, majority of the times you are going to see availability only on Tuesdays. And like I said, you may see one session on a Monday, granted if nobody has taken that session. Now, going back to the initial session, as you can see, I said that I do those on Wednesdays. That is why you're only seeing availability on Wednesdays. I am a therapist as well, so I do use other days of the week to see my therapy clients. So I have to kind of space out my availability with these coaching sessions. So the initial sessions, if you are looking, is going to be on a Wednesday, or you can find the one that I do on a Monday, but I can tell you it's only one session offered that Monday, and they usually go pretty fast. Now, the key to this is looking every day. If you come and you do not see any availability, like for instance, with that supplemental session, if you don't see any availability, understand that it is important to check daily, because sometimes people change their appointments and so something will come up. However, the other thing that I would definitely advise is, let me go back, I'll take you back here, is that because it's not showing any availability here, so that means for the next 15 days through the 18th, I don't have anything available for a supplemental session. So because I'm telling you that I do supplemental sessions primarily on Tuesdays, and then there's one that I do on Mondays, that means you want to be looking 15 days prior to that next availability. So the next availability for a supplemental session to open up will be the 21st, because that's on a Monday where you'll see the availability. So that means you will want to look the day before, 15 days before the 21st, which is saying the 21st, 15 days before that means that that would be, let's see, that would be October the 6th. So this Sunday, October the 6th, is when you will see the availability for the 21st open up. October the 7th is when you will see the availability for the 22nd. October the 8th is when the 23rd, because this is 15 days out. So each day, a new day of availability opens up. The only days where availability is no longer opening up now will be on Wednesdays and Wednesday through Saturday, because there's no day to populate, because I'm not having coaching sessions on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays. So that means if you are looking for sessions, the best time for you to look is going to be between Sunday and Tuesday or Wednesday. So let's just say Sunday through Wednesday are the best days of the week to look for opening days of availability. However, if you know you're looking for a supplemental session, you know that they open up on Tuesdays, so that means you want to look the day before that. So on Mondays, I would tell you look on Sundays, because again, there is one spot that opens up on Mondays, but remember, it will be 15 days in advance. That is specifically because I am usually booked up for at least 2 weeks, because people are looking at the schedule daily and they are booking the spots as they come available. Okay, so if you know that you are wanting to book a session, you trying to book a session in the same week is probably not going to ever happen. I'm never going to have availability for the same week that you look at the calendar. That hardly ever happens unless somebody just cancels. And yeah, that would be the only reason, if somebody cancels their session for that week or reschedules it to a later time. So the chances of you looking at the schedule today and getting a spot for next week, a lot of times that is a little scarce. Okay, so understand that. So usually when you come to my website looking for a personal or individual session, you are looking to book 2 weeks out. In this case right now, for initial sessions, I do have 2 initial sessions still available for next week, right? So you would be able to book that this week. Usually, as you can see on the supplemental calendar, there's nothing available for the rest of the week, or next week. So the earliest availability for supplemental scheduling would be the following week, which is 15 days out. And that's what you're going to be booking for, whatever 15 days out, which would be this week right here. So just understand, y'all, that I am not ever going to be booked up for the whole month. Like, even if you go to November, it's not going to show availability because my schedule does not open that far in advance. I don't allow people to book me up for throughout the whole month, because I do have a personal life. I do have another career that I have to schedule these sessions around. So 2 weeks max is what I'm booked up for. So if you look at this and you don't see anything, you do not have to email and say, oh, well, it looks like you're booked up for the month, or it looks like you don't have any more availability. Check on Sundays through Wednesdays for your respective session that you are trying to book. I promise you the availability will be there. it will probably just be 2 weeks away before you can get that appointment. I do have a waiting list that the link is provided up here. If somebody cancels, or say for instance, if a spot doesn't get filled by a certain time, then I go to my waiting list and I send out emails and say, okay, hey, I have 12:30 on the 9th, whether it's a supplemental session or an initial session. If the spot is available, if you're on the wait list, or if you've emailed me because your test is coming up sooner and I have extra availability, you will get contacted about the open spot. So usually all the spots do get filled, whether they're booked, with which they usually are, or whether I have to, go on the waiting list and, pull people forward from the waiting list. So I do advise you, if you know that you are testing, let's just say we're in the beginning of October. If you're testing by the end of October, you need to be scheduling now. If you think you're going to wait the week before and try to schedule, you will not most likely get a spot with me. If you are testing at the end of October, and of course there's, like, for instance, no availability, you can email me. I will still advise you to watch the schedule depending on what your test date is. But you will be prioritized for manual scheduling if our schedules, can accommodate that being done. So again, I am making this video as an update because the last video I made, it has some things that are no longer into play as far as the session max. So just to understand, you can book as many group sessions as you want. As of right now, group sessions are bi-weekly every Monday, and we were doing quick sessions every other Monday. And then we were doing quick sessions every Friday, which I have kind of halted for now. I will be making announcements when I pick those back up. But as far as the individual sessions, you can book those bi-weekly, right? So that means when you see the spots, book them, right? You cannot meet every week unless you are within 3 weeks of your exam date. Then you can book multiple sessions at one time, as far as every week. I will not see you more than one time a week, simply because I try to make space for everyone that is trying to get appointments. And so I'm not trying to see the same people over and over, and other people that are waiting and getting ready to test are not able to get spots, simply because I am doing this by myself, and I also have to, of course, be conscious of the time that I am able to extend with doing this. So I hope this video helps. I hope that is clear on how to book a session. So just make sure that you have thoroughly watched this video before sending an email saying you're booked up for the next few months, or you're booked up for the rest of the months. No, I'm only booked up for the next 2 weeks. And if you check back on the calendar Sunday through Wednesday, you will see new availability pop up for the upcoming weeks that is within the 15-day time span. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show is when you're booking your session. Let's just say we're going to book this 12:30 session here. You're going to fill out your information. Now, when you're filling out your information, something that is very important for you to do, it's going to ask you, of course, all of these questions, but there is, and it might be on the next one, but there is an option for you to select your time zone. I think it's when you move forward. Please do that, because that is going to determine, it's not going to let me go to the next page without filling out all of this, but that is going to determine you getting the correctly scheduled time. If you do not select your time zone, it is going to schedule you according to my time zone, which is Central Standard Time. So that means if you book it at 2 o'clock, with the time that you see that it's offered, if it says 2 o'clock, that's my time. So Once you select your time zone, it is going to show you the availability in your time zone. Actually, it's right here. It's before you even select the time. So let me go back and clarify that. When you're looking at the calendar, you can switch your time zone right here. And so it will show you, according to your time zone, what time is available. The times that's showing available here are going to be my time zone, Central Standard Time. So whenever you select your time zone, it is going to show you yours. When you receive your confirmation, it is going to send it to you in your time zone or whatever time zone you have selected. So just be cautious about that. So just remember that when you select your time, you're going to fill out all the required information, upload either your test date or your exam scores, preferably your exam scores if you tested already. And then once you finish going through the process, you will be emailed confirmation.